This is a Violet Jester Media podcast. Welcome to this epic disaster.
Welcome.
What was that?
I'm just echoing back your welcome.
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 That's creepy. We're starting to get into creepy season though, so that's awesome. Be as creepy as you like.
Sometimes I wish I had an accent. I need to move to another country.
Okay.
So I would actually have an accent.
Let's move to Transylvania.
Well, I'm just thinking like Bela Lugosi.
Yes.
Having that kind of accent, especially around Halloween, would be awesome.
But then how would you get rid of it when it's
You
not
wouldn't.
Halloween?
You would have it all the time, and
Oh.
people would think you're really cool. Like Edgar Oliver. You're that kind of accent all the time.
All the time.
It would be awesome.
But he's just from Savannah.
He's from Savannah, but I think he has some other influences as well.
Oh,
What kind? I was thinking about this today. What accents would you get in trouble for doing? Like, I could do a French accent right now on the podcast, and everybody would be just like, "Okay, he's doing a French accent." If I did a Chinese accent, they'd be like, "Did you hear what he just did? He's racist." So what? Like, I can't do Chinese. I think, like, I could do Spanish, but I can't do Mexican.
And you can't do Indian.
I cannot do Indian, even though I can really.
You're really good at doing Indian. But you can do Scottish.
I can do Scottish. I can do English.
You can do Irish.
I could do Irish. I'm not good at Irish, but I mean, what are the accents that you're allowed to do?
Well, you certainly can't do like
like
any African country is off limits.
No, well, I mean that's true, but I mean some countries in Africa they speak French.
That's true. South Africa.
I don't know. I want to tap into this because I don't know. I need to know what the rules are. What accents are okay to do and what accents are not okay to do. I don't know.
Who should we ask that?
I don't know. I've been to the Renaissance Fair where people who were not English or of English origin were doing an English accent. And I have no problem with that. I think it's great.
Well, they're in character, though.
But I just wonder if I start doing an Italian accent, like a gangster or something like that, people are gonna say that I'm not racist because Italian's not a race. So I don't know but they're gonna say that I'm being prejudiced or something. So I need to find out what the rules are. What can I do? What am I allowed to do?
I don't know, but you just reminded me of a movie that my friend Adam and I were watching while we were making Halloween decorations.
Oh, yeah?
And it's
already? You're making Halloween decorations?
Oh, we started weeks and weeks ago.
Interesting.
So this movie was one of those 1980s Australian B horror movies.
Oh, that's got to be good.
No, it was awesome.
Yeah.
You had the preppy girl with the preppy guy, and then you had the punk rock, I just want to party guy. And then you had, the Italian guy.
Yeah.
Now, there's two stereotypes in this movie that within the first 5 minutes, anybody who's easily offended
is in trouble.
Yes. The one was this Italian guy, and there's no mistaking that he's Italian.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, he's an Australian actor.
Well, that's what I was just thinking, because Australian is the one that you can do. I can do Australian, but what does an Australian Italian sound like?
Well, he sounds exactly like you would think of a stereotypical
broad,
Italian.
yeah.
Oh, yo, forget about it.
So like Jersey Italian.
Oh, God.
No, not
God.
Came out of like Florence, Italy.
No. Just like, make me some spaghetti.
Oh, wow.
I mean, just horrible, horrible, horrible. And then this
like
other...
Jersey Shore kids.
The worst part about this, now mind you, this is a movie from the 80s, and I am not condoning this whatsoever at all.
Right.
But they had a black man who was supposed to be like
Aborigines?
No, he was more
American black dude.
American black guy, more like kind of a P. Diddy of the 80s, if you will. Yeah. Okay. And every other word out of his mouth was either shit or motherfucker.
Yeah.
So that's basically what they, in the 80s in Australia, thought that American black men spoke like.
I want to get into an area that might be racist, but I'm okay with it, even though it's not my race. When you think of cool black dude, I'm sorry, black dudes out there that are cool and uncool. What era do you think of? And what time period?
What time period?
Who are the cool, stereotypical or iconic quote black dudes to you? Because I'll answer my question.
Okay.
To me, it's the 70s. I mean,
Shaft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That big afro, the bell bottoms, and they were just really smooth. You know, you saw a lot of them on like Good Times and stuff like that. It was stereotype, of course.
Yes.
However, I saw some really, really cool dudes that were actually, like that. And it's the same even now. I mean, whatever your quote stereotype is, you're going to see people who really fit that.
Yeah, that's true.
Because some people like, I guess, I don't know if the stereotype is based on a certain person or if certain people like to base their personality on stereotypes. I don't know.
It's hard to say.
If I'm thinking of Scottish,
right,
wearing a kilt is fairly stereotype.
Yeah.
And I wear a kilt.
Yeah.
So, I participate in the stereotype.
Not
so
really.
I'm guessing,
You're just wearing a kilt.
I'm guessing certain cultures, whatever the culture is, like if I'm even Italian American, whatever the Jersey stereotype is, there are a lot of people who that's their reputation. That's like what they like to put forward.
So if you're okay, let me just maybe kind of clarify.
Have we crossed the line here?
We're about to. So let me just clarify this a little bit. So if let's say you go to Ancestry.com and you get your DNA done, or 23andMe, or whichever one you choose, you get your DNA done, and it comes back with your, mostly Italian.
Yeah.
Now, do you suddenly start using manja and saying things ricotta? I can't say it right, but you know what I mean. Do you start using an accent even though you have never been exposed to anything like that?
I don't think so, because my ancestry is actually more German probably than almost anything else, and I'm not a big fan of German. I won't say culture, but German stuff.
Nice.
I'm not a big fan of the language. I'm not a big fan of like the history. I'm not a big fan of the art and things like that. I'm not saying it's crap. It's just that personally it doesn't appeal to me as something like that's Celtic would.
Okay.
And, but if I found out I was Native American, I would probably participate a lot more in that type of style and artwork. I don't know. There'd be something about that I would feel that connected me more to my roots than if I was German. It's weird. That's
because
weird.
You live in America.
We should really we should get into that
another time.
A podcast, because it is potentially very offensive, and we're not trying to be offensive. We just like to talk about stuff. And I'm spraying. I'm sorry. What's good on Halloween? What a lot of people be dressing as on Halloween this year, and it was actually the first thing that we dressed as, you and I think, on Halloween. Zombies.
Can I open this beer?
What beer is it that we're opening today?
Zombie Killer.
See, there's a reason for my questions. I do have.
I didn't even look at it before I was going to open it. I'm sorry.
I was making a little, transition.
I will, however, tell you this is not
segue.
A beer.
What is it?
This is a hard cider with honey and cherry added.
What?
It's not beer.
What?
It's cider. It's so tiny you can't read it.
Well, that was accidental. All right, so we're going to do it because it wasn't on purpose, but
I'm okay with it.
I suppose I don't even want the
cider.
Sugar, but
I'm down with the cider right now.
Okay, it's a live cider review.
We're doing a live. Oh, it's pink.
Wow, it is. It looks like
a rosé,
like champagne or something.
It looks like a rosé.
Interesting.
Kind of a dark rosé.
We've never had anything that color on the show.
No, we've had a beer that did have a pink tint to it before.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now we're going to have a cider. Let me read a little bit about it while you taste it.
Well, I just want to say from that first thing, if you've listened to the show for any length of time, we're not people to shy away from controversy or opinions. I never want to offend anybody. I don't purposely offend people. But I also think that there are a lot of times when people just refuse to talk about something just because they believe it's politically incorrect. Because they're
afraid of being
offensive.
I
mean, I anything that I would say here on the show, I would say to anyone sitting here in the studio to their face. If I needed to.
If you needed to. If you were
I'm just
chatting.
Curious. Yeah, I'm curious. I have a lot of
talking.
curiosity about, cultures and things. And
all right. So about this beer, it's called Zombie Killer. Yes, you are. It's called Zombie Killer.
Uh-huh.
It is the 2011 Mazer Cup Gold Medal winner.
It smells kind of winish. Choked on that. It does smell a little winish. It is a cider, though. I can tell.
It is a cider. Mm-hmm. So it says, dedicated to the freaks and the geeks. What started as a top-secret experiment with Michigan honey, cherries, and apple cider became a viral epidemic. It won't be easy to survive, so grab your weapons and don't forget this bottle for backup.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Serve cold. Zombies hate the cold. So, hey, what do you think?
I don't know that that's true.
What do you think?
I'm a fan of ciders, and I went through periods of drinking a lot of ciders, and it is a cider.
Yes, it is.
It's very much a cider.
It's not a very carbonated cider, which I prefer because the more carbonated the cider, the more upset my stomach gets.
Yep. What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't.
You prefer a non-carbonated cider?
Correct.
Oh, I thought you were saying.
And it's pretty, and I like it because it's pretty.
Okay.
And I'm just going to be girly and have more.
It does have this little back taste of cherry back there. I mean, just like you taste it and it's very cidery, and then you kind of exhale and you get a little bit of that cherry flavor.
Correct.
But it isn't heavy on the cherry.
No, it's not. It's definitely a honey flavor.
Did you find out what brewery or place or whatever we're talking about?
Okay.
Give them a little shout out there.
B Nektar.
That B on the top. We've had something by them before because I remember the little B on the top.
Produced and bottled by B Nektar in Ferndale, Michigan.
Okay.
Contains sulfites.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either, but it's only 5.5%.
It doesn't sound healthy.
Sulfites?
It's got a nice little illustration on it.
It does. I like it.
Okay.
It's a cherry with a sword, a samurai sword, or a katana.
We will pretend that it's a beer. We'll pretend like we're rating a beer.
Destroying an apple. That's what's happening. Right. Speaking of zombies.
Zombie.
You're being offensive. You're being very offensive.
To everybody, every culture, every sex, people who
every
sing,
gender.
people who don't sing.
All right.
I just offended the world.
You just offended my ears. We're going to play Zabmondo.
R.I.P. Dolores O'Riordan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's too soon. I'll just say it's too soon.
I was just singing the song. People do it. It was my tribute to her.
All right. So I'm going to go first. You read.
I liked her.
Like her music.
Zabmondo.
Yes.
Zabmondo is the game of
Would You Rather.
Would You Rather.
Would You Rather?
Which we like to play here on this show. You know, I have a Would You Rather question I'm going to ask you after we play Zabmondo.
All right. I'm going to drop one.
Drop one.
It's red.
I said that last week. I said you would drop a red one. I knew it. Would you rather? This is pain, fear / discomfort.
I have all of those.
Which is kind of what I'm feeling right now.
Yes.
Would you rather hear strange voices or hear only silence? In other words, would you rather be deaf? Would you rather hear strange voices? I don't know what that means. In your head or all the time? Everybody's voice is strange. It doesn't say.
Would I rather have schizoid tendencies?
It just says, would you rather hear strange voices or hear only silence?
Strange voices.
I guess so.
I mean, think about it. Edgar Oliver has a strange voice.
Yeah.
Or do they mean voices that aren't supposed to be there?
It doesn't say. That's what's weird. It just says, would you rather hear strange voices? And I don't know if it means in your head or all the time. Or I don't know. All right.
There's already voices in my head.
Some of these questions just
suck. Here.
I'm going to do blue. I'm going to drop a blue. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to drop a blue.
Okay.
I really shouldn't predict.
Because you're never right.
I told you I'm not going to predict anymore.
And you just keep doing it.
And I keep doing it.
And you just keep doing it.
All right, ready?
No. Go. Ah!
What did I say? What did I tell you?
You cheated.
You're a cheater. How come every time I guess you say I cheated? I want to know how do you take 5 color stones in your hand, shake them up, drop one, and cheat? I don't even know how. I'm not David Blaine. I just drop a stone.
So does he occasionally.
I say that to my wife every night.
I'm not David Blaine. I just drop it like it's hot.
All right. What's my blue?
Your blue is, would you rather?
I would.
As a man.
Yes.
Grow green body hair and have a bald head.
Okay.
At the same time.
Like Shrek?
Yes.
Okay.
Or have no body hair at all and a full head of green hair.
That one.
Full head of green hair?
Yes, and no body hair. Yes, I'm totally fine with that.
Okay.
Totally fine.
That includes your face.
It says head of hair. Face is on your head, right?
Yeah, but
I'm telling you, we're going. That's what it says.
All right.
A head of hair, so I could have green beard, green hair, green everything, but no body hair. Totally into that.
You're down with that.
I would do that.
Okay.
Not only that, but you could. I mean, I suppose you could still dye your hair. I'm assuming, but even if you didn't want to, green is cool. I would have green hair. I would have green. You would
beard. Not look good in green.
I'm not so sure.
You have yellow undertones.
I'm not so sure that's true. I think I might.
You and I have the same coloring.
Anyway, that's my choice.
Okay, so why don't you wax your body then? If you're down with that.
There's not enough wax in the beehive for that. It's way too much trouble.
Too much hair?
Every so often I do the Just for Men, color my beard. About ready to do it again.
Yeah?
Just because, and for no reason. I don't mind having gray beard hair. I don't. I just, every once in a while, I don't know. I just like a change.
It's a change.
And so I'm thinking of doing it here. But the amount of time, and I only have to do it like every 2 weeks, but it takes too much time.
It doesn't take, it takes 5 minutes.
To wax the body, to wax the entire body.
Yes.
Because my body's pretty.
You're a large person.
It's pretty hairy.
Yes.
There's not a lot of places on me that aren't covered in hair.
That's true.
And that would just take a long time.
Yes.
That would just take a long time. So that's why I don't do it.
Maybe you could get your wife to do it.
No. Because then what do you do? I mean, well, I guess the waxing, but I mean, if you're shaving, you shave it, and then like 2 days later, it's like sandpaper.
Yeah, but here's the thing: she'd have to wax everywhere.
I know, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to feel that kind of pain.
Okay.
No.
All right. No waxing.
Don't
no
need
waxing
to do it. No.
All right.
I'll just wait for the green head of hair and no body hair. Yeah.
It could happen. So you said you had another would you rather question for me.
This is something I was thinking about. This is just something I want to know.
I will answer
it. It's not a mystical thing. I'm curious.
All right.
Let's say someone is going to give you free tickets.
Ooh,
you have free tickets and an all expense paid evening to either the motion pictures, a movie theater to see a movie, live theater. Stage show.
Yeah.
A musical.
Oh, yeah.
Or a sketch comedy / stand-up comedy performance. So a comedy show.
Wow.
You get free ticket. You choose one. We should raise the stakes and say, if whatever you choose, you can never see any of the other ones again for the rest of your life.
No. Don't do that to me. I like all of those things.
No, but I won't do that. But I will just say, free ticket, someone's going to give it to you. Let's say one of our listeners called up and said, I'm going to donate those. I'm going to give you the free tickets. Where do you want to do?
Awesome.
Movie, live theater, a musical of your choice, or comedy show, sketch comedy or stand-up.
I'm going to go with
the comedian of your choice.
See, and I love to... Oh, I get to choose the comedian.
Well, I mean, I don't think they're going to force you into seeing just any comedy show.
Good, because I don't want to see...
You could choose the movie, you could choose the play.
Okay.
You could choose the musical or the performer.
Right now, in this day and age, I would choose tickets. No. I would choose tickets to a musical.
Okay.
And do you want to know which one? Or just that it's a musical?
Well, I mean, you could answer specifically.
If I got to choose which musical I would go see that's actually playing right now, Hamilton.
I will tell you something about Hamilton.
What?
I just bought the soundtrack. It's downstairs.
Yes, it's very good. I've heard it.
Okay.
I would like to see that.
I didn't like it.
You didn't?
I was kind of disappointed.
Okay.
Now, I had already heard some of it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Or the Book of Mormon.
I don't know. I know what that's about, but I haven't heard any songs from that.
Really?
I think I might want to see it.
Okay.
I mean, the last musical, well, I'll take that back. When I saw the updated version of Jesus Christ Superstar,
right,
that blew me away. They did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
But this is what made me think of this. My favorite musical has always been Fiddler on the Roof. And so I watched the movie version a couple of days ago, this weekend. And after it was over, I remember thinking, I think I'm about done with musicals. I don't know that I need to see any more of them for a while. And it's my favorite musical, but I don't know. There's just something about, everybody, this really serious thing, and then people just breaking out into song.
Yeah, that's a bit rough. You know what if I don't know if it's playing anywhere right now. It's probably not even like in the circuit right now, but like the Pirates of Penzance.
Yeah, that's good. That's one of my favorite musicals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
okay.
Did you pick one? Have you done it?
I would say musical.
You're going with the musical. You're going with Hamilton.
Because I love
Tickets
theater.
On Broadway.
Yes.
Go all out. If
on
it's
Broadway.
all expenses paid, why
all
not?
All expenses, and I want to spend the weekend.
With Lin-Manuel Miranda, is that his name? I'm sorry, Lynn, if I mispronounced your name.
Because he listens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing I offend people for.
Because you don't know how to pronounce names, and I don't know how to pronounce words, so we're both very, very offensive.
How the heck was your week? I haven't even asked you.
Well,
I don't know what the heck's going on.
This has been a rough week for me so far. Yeah, rough. Like rough. No, not that kind of rough. It's just been rough in the sense that I've been tired this week, and I've been frustrated at work, and today, almost everything I touched at work was wrong, or just badly done.
Okay.
And then when I got home.
Now, is this your opinion, or are you being told this?
This is my opinion.
Oh.
And then
you're always hard on yourself.
I'm not that hard on my. Stop it. So when I got home, I picked up Toffee, put her in the car, got in the car, shut the door, and then noticed that I didn't have my keys with me.
Oh no!
But I'd already locked the door.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So you have a spare somewhere?
No, I had to ruin a credit card to get in the house.
Oh, so anybody could do that?
Yeah.
Why do you even have keys then?
I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it so you can't.
That's insane. How do you sleep at night?
I don't. I don't. Clearly, I'm tired.
So everything you touched turned into poop.
Yes.
In a poopy week.
Yes, but I did do something fun today. I guess it's fun.
Fun?
It's helpful.
And did it involve a credit card?
Yeah, it did.
Oh.
So I went to a place today. And it was out of the blue. I just decided to go.
Sounds like a restaurant. Out of the blue. Sounds good.
It was not a restaurant. There was no food.
Oh.
It's actually called Out of the Closet.
Okay.
And it is the
smallest restaurant in the world.
No. It's like a thrift store. Okay. But they do...
I know where this is.
Yes. And they do HIV testing for free.
I know where that is.
Yeah, I went there.
There's a bunch of antique places around.
It's on Cheshire Bridge, the one I went to.
Okay.
On Cheshire Bridge here in Atlanta.
All right.
And it's right around where I work. And I went there and I got tested to check my status, my HIV status.
Right.
And I'll just put it out there. It's negative.
Negative.
Meaning I do not have HIV.
Oh.
But I learned some things.
Because if they said you had HIV, that would be a negative experience. So
right.
That's negative.
But it would have been a positive test.
You're so negative. Right.
I am very negative.
Okay.
So anyways, I learned all kinds of things that I didn't know about HIV.
Really?
Yes. And it's because I'm just, I'm of the age of being a sexually active person. But I'm just not.
Okay.
So I don't have to worry about things like that.
All right.
So it turns out that there is a drug called PrEP. Have you heard of this?
No.
Okay. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of details about it. If anybody listening is interested, please, please, please do your research because this is an amazing thing. Okay?
All right.
This is a drug that you take. It's like a pill, a tablet that you take every day. It almost works like a flu shot, but instead of getting it once a year, you take it every day. And ultimately, what it does is it can prevent you from contracting the HIV.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Look it up.
Not.
It does.
Who told you that? Some guy on the street?
No, the guy
There's
at the
no such
clinic.
thing.
Look it up. I'm telling you, look the shit up. And then there's also this other thing called PEP, which is just PEP.
That's without the R.
Yes. And that is basically...
That's what... the other one is what pirates do.
This one...
Oh,
God. Just stop. This one is like the day after pill.
Oh, so after you have...
If you have been
unprotected sex
exposed to someone who either is HIV positive or doesn't know their status, you can go and get this drug. And it's like a 3-day course that you take. That
sounds way too easy. We were taught that there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, and you were taught that when?
In the 80s.
Right. There wasn't anything you could do about it in the 80s.
I need verification of this.
Okay, well, I'm telling you, look the shit up. It is amazing.
You better believe I'll look it up.
And they
No, I will.
They have programs that will help you get these things for free.
Well, I don't screw around anymore. And so I'm pretty confident I'm not going to get it that way anyway. I'm sure there are other ways that one might be able to get it. But I do know there are people who have lifestyles very different from mine. So I guess that's good news to know.
It is. It's really amazing. And I think that anybody who is having a lifestyle where they tend to occasionally end up in bed with somebody they may not know, which I'm not judging because I've been there, I've done that, then maybe this is something you should look into if you don't already know about it. And maybe I'm just the most naive person on the planet that didn't know about it.
Probably a lot of young people know.
Yeah.
You're not young anymore.
Yeah. I mean, people that are sexually active with multiple partners who get tested often.
Oh, I dream of that.
Would I'm sure be aware of this thing that's happening. And I just haven't been because I haven't been tested in a long time.
I think it's all just a ploy to keep me from having sex. That's what it was. It's like the time when during my sexual peak, everybody's like, no, you can't have sex. You'll die. So now I'm too old. I don't even want to have sex. And they're like, no, we cured that. That's done.
It's not
You just
cured.
take a pill. They got it's in a suntan lotion. They'll rub it on your back.
It's not
Don't even have to
cured.
worry. You can have sex with 20 people at once. Oh, really? I don't want to.
Wow.
I think that's what it was. It was all something.
sure
it was all put together by my mother.
Yes.
So I wouldn't have sex.
Yes.
I think that's what it's about.
Yes. She told me one day that she created AIDS so that you would not have sex.
All right.
Anyways, look it up.
I think we just offended people who have had loved ones die of AIDS. We're not making jokes about it.
No, we're not in any way, shape, or form.
I mean,
I'm trying to give advice to people.
You are, and that's good. I'm depressed because I didn't have that during the time when I had sex with lots of men unprotected.
Even if you're not in a
never.
position, even if you're not in a position to use.
I'm in the position.
Rick,
what?
Shut up.
Sorry.
Even if you're not in a position to use these drugs for any reason whatsoever, then please look into Out of the Closet because it is a nationwide chain.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the thrift store, everything you donate, all the money they make goes to helping people with HIV who cannot afford their medications.
I did not go to the thrift store, but I saw it and it looked like a cool thrift store. And I was like, next time I'm going to the thrift store.
Yes.
But where I was at the time, it was all around. There was a lot of antique stores and I went to other antique stores. So good to know.
Definitely donate and definitely go there first to buy your thrift needs stuff.
Good to know. Yeah. Good to know.
Okay. Just saying. All right. So I put my information out there.
That's good.
I'm negative.
I think I'm negative.
I know you are.
Pretty sure I am.
If you weren't, I wouldn't be.
I don't even know what that means. I don't want to examine it.
Okay.
But that isn't necessarily true. It could have happened after.
This is true. So you became a little playboy after me.
Well, I'm saying it could. You could have. You said if you had it, I would have it. I'm just saying you could have it, and I wouldn't have it.
No, I said if you had it, I would have it.
Oh, not necessarily. Right. I didn't become a playboy. I mean.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
You think? I mean, I'm okay with having that.
You dated like 12 women in a year.
I'm okay with you thinking that I have that reputation. Totally fine with it. But that doesn't mean it actually.
It's true.
Just because I date somebody doesn't mean I do them. Dating and doing.
More often than not, it does.
Dating and doing are two different things.
You did them all.
Okay, fine. If you want to think that, that's totally fine. I'm fine with you thinking that about me. I did them all. That is correct.
And I don't do anybody.
I'm a doer.
I'm not a doer.
I'm a doer.
I'm a planner.
I want to talk about a documentary I saw. All right, I love documentaries.
Yes.
I'm a big documentary fan. Not only am I a doer, I'm a docker.
That doesn't make any sense.
It totally doesn't make sense, but I love documentaries. All right, so I was trying to find a documentary, and I've seen almost all of them on Netflix and all the others. And there's this one documentary that keeps coming up, and I'm like, I would really like to see that, but it's one of those serial documentaries where it's like 5-6 parts, 7 parts, whatever.
Which one is it?
I don't like those.
What's wrong with you?
I don't like to commit to something. I know you binge watch things. You'll watch 25 episodes in a weekend, and I just don't like doing that.
How'd you know what I did this weekend?
I have seen a couple of those. Like, didn't you tell me about the murder thing? What was it? Making of a Murder?
Making of a Murderer.
I keep wanting to see that. Still haven't seen it just because it's more than one episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, there's this one that comes up, and I finally watched it.
What one?
It's called The Keepers.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
No, but I've seen it come up on my Netflix.
Wow. You got to watch it.
Okay.
It's only like 5 or 6 episodes.
Okay.
Do
tell.
Okay, so I'm not going to ruin it. I'm not going to tell everything. I'm going to tell you loosely the plot.
Okay.
A nun at a Catholic school
Yes.
suddenly disappears, and they find her murdered.
Oh, goodness.
And the rest of the documentary is about everything from what they thought happened, who they thought did it, to a big, big thing of who probably did it, but never
Was proven.
was proven. And
so what you're saying is you don't want to ruin the ending, which there is no ending.
That's a little frustrating about the show, is in that there is certain endings, but what you realize is there are people and institutions that have so much power that they can get away with stuff that will blow you away, they get away with.
That's a given.
And sometimes you see little kids, when things happen to them. And I will say that the entire documentary kind of chronicles the story of people who were kids in high school up until now, and they're in their 60s. So this happened to kids that were in their, I think they were in like 69, 70, 71 in high school.
Okay, so before me.
Yeah, oh yeah. But I mean, so they're in their 60s now.
Sure.
So, they were kind of counterculture hippie generation people.
Cool dudes.
And what happened at the time when they were in high school and had zero power to do anything about it. And then you look at them now when they're grown-ups in their 60s, when they should have power to do stuff. And because of the way the system is, which will blow you away, by the way, they have no power to do anything about this. And it is amazing, astounding.
Yes.
It's about how corrupt human beings can be in so many different areas of our society. And things that you kind of suspect sometimes, or some of the things that you kind of think you might have heard that stuff goes on.
Right.
This is some documented proof.
So let me ask you this.
Yes.
If I watch this, is it going to depress me?
It's very depressing. It is. You like kind of crime shows.
Yes.
You like shows that are sort of like a puzzle.
Yes.
So it is like that. It's sort of a whodunit.
Okay.
It gives you a lot of evidence. And here's the thing, and I don't think this is spoiling it, but in spite of all of the evidence towards certain people, some of those certain people never are held accountable for it. Never. That
okay.
is depressing.
That's
depressing. Frustrating.
Yes.
And now those people are dead.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
It doesn't matter if they find out that they did it. If there was a video of them, they're dead. They will not ever have to answer for that. And the people who were the subjects of it's about abuse.
Yes.
Subjects of their abuse are still living and still having to put up with that. Every day of their life, that the stuff that happened to them, they have to confront. And the people who did it are gone, dead, never had to do anything about it.
Never
had to answer.
Held accountable.
Nope. Nope.
That is extremely depressing.
It's very depressing, but it's life. And what's encouraging is how they survive, how they cope, how they went from what happened to them to where they are now.
Okay.
And it isn't pretty. Not all of it's pretty. Some stories are triumphant. Some of them are depressing. Some people, the best stuff happened and some didn't. But it's a shame when you just see how an innocent person, things happen to an innocent person, and it affected their entire life up until now. It affected the choices they made, places they went, who they hung out with, what they thought of themselves, to the point that it was almost predicted they just would not have a quality of life, because what reason do they have to have that? It's kind of interesting. It's amazing.
It might be something for me to watch at a time when I'm really happy and I can handle being brought down a bit.
Yeah, I mean, It depends on how emotionally invested in it you want to be. I mean, you're going to be mad. You're going to be very mad. But it's really like watching something that you might see on the ID channel or something. There's not graphic photos. There's not violence or anything. It's just people telling their story. It's people telling what happened to them. And then you seeing how the system worked against them. That becomes very frustrating. And it's enough to make you mad. I think after it was over, my thought was, because the majority of my life was involved in religion and spirituality. Up until my late 40s, that was the truth. And so I'm out of that now. I just don't have an interest in it. I don't. It's not something that I'm into. But it did make me feel like that there is a value maybe in working with people who get burned by that system.
Yes.
And I'm choosing my words carefully because I don't want to reveal. But I'm just saying the Keepers. I believe it's only 5 episodes, maybe 6. They're about an hour long. It's definitely worth it.
Did you binge it?
I think I watched it over 2 days.
Okay.
So it's definitely worth that.
Ooh, that's big for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a subject that I'm kind of interested in, and it is gripping. I mean, you keep thinking this person, they're about to get this person. Everything's happening, and then it's like...
And then, no, not that person.
But just the stories, it's just like, how the hell did that happen? I think my wife saw some of it. She didn't watch all of it, but she was like, how is it that they got away with this stuff?
Oh, gosh.
And I was like, because they basically, they made or forced, they had ways of forcing the kids not to tell, and you're talking about people who made people think they were God or the spiritual leaders. So why would you question what they tell you to do?
Sure.
And I guess for a long time. And there's more to it. You will understand if you watch it.
Okay.
There's more to the reason why they didn't get in trouble.
Okay, so just to recap, so far in this episode, we have discovered that our beer is not a beer. We've talked about HIV, and we've talked about child abuse. So, on that note, I have a puppy. I mean,
puppy.
come on.
She's
Rick.
probably ripping up the door right now.
She is. She's huge. She's basically a horse at this point.
She is.
She's gigantic.
She is.
I have to take her in tomorrow to the vet to finally do her final weigh-in before I can buy in bulk her flea and tick medicine and her heartworm medicine, because when she's 50 pounds, she gets a different dosage, et cetera, et cetera. She has got to be 50 pounds at this point.
She's pretty wiry, but she might be up there.
I don't know. We'll see. I will inform you next time.
All right. So here's I'll break up the badness. I'll break up the depressing, and I don't call it depressing. I like documentaries. It's life. This is about life. But I'm going to change subjects, and I'm going to talk about something else.
Thank you.
That you wouldn't expect from me.
Uh-oh. What?
Something.
What do you have?
Okay. Something you wouldn't expect from me.
What?
You know I'm not a gamer, right? I don't play games.
No, you don't. But when you do, you have a blast.
It depends on the game. Like, I love trivia games and things like that. I don't like competitive games. I'm just not into that.
But you had so much fun at Thinking Man playing Trivial Pursuit.
Trivial games. That's what I'm saying. I love trivial games. Like Zabmondo. I'm into that.
Okay.
And especially if I don't know. I don't like the competition. I don't like me over you or you over me or I won or I'm ahead or I don't like that. That's why, you and I used to just read trivia questions to each other. Sometimes we'd keep score, but it's just fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's just fun.
So here's something else we used to do. I don't know if you remember this. It's a game we used to play.
What?
And I sort of forgot about it until I think this morning.
Oh, okay. You were thinking about me this morning?
No, I was thinking about the game. I started playing. Well, I came across it in another thing, and I was like, oh, yeah, I used to do that. And then I checked it out.
Okay. What is it?
All right. The game is called GeoGuessr.
GeoGuessr. And
you can play it for free. It's online at GeoGuessr, and you spell it GeoGuessr. So no E.
Okay.
So GeoGuessr.com. See if you remember this. So what it is, it's a game of Google Earth.
Oh, yes.
So you push a button and Google or this game drops you somewhere in the world.
Yes.
You have no idea where you are.
And
you have to find out where you are by going down Google Street View and looking around and trying to find out where you are. It is not as easy as you think.
It really isn't.
The game has changed a lot since we played it, although the basic idea is still the same. Now, I played it this morning on my iPhone, and I was a little frustrated because it crashed a lot. It was moving slow. It was kind of difficult.
Well, it's Street View.
I played it on my iPad later, and man, it was so smooth. Everything worked perfect. That's where I play it. So here's what's interesting about that game is, now let me just tell you a little bit about what you could do different now that you couldn't do before. You could choose your map. Like you could say, I just want to do United States.
Oh, okay.
Because the default is the world, which is so much harder.
It really is.
But you can say, I just want to do United States. You could say, I just want to do New York City. It'll take you have to figure out where the heck in New York City you are. So I chose the world. I'm doing the world. So I wished because you can register, and when you register, it will keep your score.
Oh,
it
nice.
gives you a score.
Okay.
I wished I'd done it because, like, I played one round. They give you 5 locations, 5 different places. That's one whole round, and then you scored based on how close you are to guessing where you are.
Okay.
And I got all of them within like 20 miles for one whole round I played, and I scored unbelievably high. I wished, but I wasn't registered, so it didn't keep that score.
So you could be lying.
Well, I just went out. I was like, okay, I'm registering because I'm going to do this again. So here's what's amazing about this game. And it's also frustrating a lot because they'll drop you on a street and it's a dirt road.
Yes.
In the middle of freaking nowhere.
Yes.
It just looks like a cornfield.
Correct.
Or just nothing. I mean, there's no signs, no anything. And you walk, drive, whatever, down this path to try to find out where you are. Now, you have to do this. You have to look for clues. So what I do is I look for any kind of road sign or anything, because sometimes you'll pass a utility pole.
Sure.
And you'll look on the utility pole. It's just like, do I see English?
Right.
Or do I see like letters I don't recognize?
Right.
Because that's a hint on where you are. You look and see which way the traffic is going. Sometimes they'll drop you somewhere where there is traffic. So if the traffic is going different from United States, then you know you're in another country.
But the unfortunate thing is you can't see license plates on Street View.
No,
so
you cannot.
Can't, it won't tell you what state you're in.
One time, I was in a place I was convinced was like local.
Okay.
It looked like something that was very local. And so I drive down, and then I see a road sign. I look at the road sign. It's a triangle that is got a red border around it. Immediately, I'm like, okay, that's not American, because our road signs, the triangles are amber, yellow. We don't have the little red thing. That's very European. So at that point, I was like, this is probably not America. It doesn't look like American insignias. So I go down the road a little bit, and I see a car in front of me. The license plate is blurred out, but I can see that it's a yellow license plate that is small and long rectangular.
Yeah, so it's not
American size.
Right.
So then I know I'm in Europe somewhere. And then I started looking around, but all of the signs were in English. So I was like, I'm somewhere in an English-speaking country in Europe. And so you have to put things together. Now, here's what I do. I don't know if this is cheating. I don't think it's cheating. But like sometimes I will see the name of a city and I will look up a city. And like today I saw Walnut Grove Cemetery.
Oh, Walnut Grove is in California.
There is a Walnut Grove. There's a Walnut Grove probably every state.
I think so. Every state that has walnuts.
So you look for cemetery, and then you just kind of figure out what the terrain looked like. Anyway, this Walnut Grove just happened to be Kansas.
Oh.
But you do that. You kind of file away clues. It's another kind of clue thing to figure out. It's at the same time so much fun and so frustrating.
You are big on research.
Well, I love that.
And so this game is basically you're researching where you are.
Yes.
You're looking for clues, like you said.
And here's what is fun about this game is I've been thrown somewhere that I would swear was North Carolina. Everything looks like every street that I've seen in North Carolina. The buildings, the cars, everything.
Okay.
And I'm just like this. I'm just waiting to find a sign that says North Carolina, and then it's Czechoslovakia.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, it's amazing how in this world, everything looks at how similar things look.
Agreed.
We all basically live the same. Occasionally, when you get into, I think it was somewhere close to India, you can really tell by the architecture of the buildings. I mean, one time I was dropped somewhere in China.
Yeah.
It was like, I couldn't find out exactly where it was, but it was like a square of Chinese temples. I was right in the middle. People taking pictures. It was like some kind of tourist attraction.
That's pretty easy.
Beautiful, beautiful Chinese buildings and gardens and all this kind of stuff. So, I mean, I knew I was in China. I couldn't find out where in China because I can't read any of the things. So I just have to kind of make a guess on that. But sometimes you see things like that where it's very, very different from what we're used to, the surroundings here. But other times, it's just amazing to me at how parts of Russia and Italy and even Ecuador look like North Georgia.
Yeah. I agree. Even the vegetation looks the same.
Exactly. Every once in a while, you're like, wait a minute, there's a palm tree. And it's like, this is not where I think it is.
But we do have some palm trees here in Georgia.
I was looking at a place that I thought was, I can't remember, I think I thought it was like somewhere in New England. And so I'm going down the road and I'm just like, I don't know. And then I start feeling really much like it's South Carolina. It looked like South Carolina. And so I go up the road and then I notice there's sand on the side of the road. So I'm like, this has got to be somewhere close to a beach.
Sure.
And in the end, it was a place in North Georgia.
Oh, okay.
But it was close to South Carolina, very close to South Carolina. So, I mean, I've been around enough, at least in the United States, where I can recognize certain terrain and vegetation and stuff. But it'll just floor you. This happened to me today. I was thrown somewhere immediately. I'm like, I'm in New Mexico. It looked like New Mexico desert. I've been in Texas. I've never been in New Mexico, but I've been in parts of Texas where it looks like old Mexico,
yes.
Cactus and stuff. And and the more I drive down this road, I'm just like, well, it's either Arizona or
New
Mexico. There's no mistaking everything, the vegetation, the hills, the mountains, everything.
Sure.
I keep driving. I can't figure out where I am. So I just guess somewhere in Mexico. I was in Oregon. I can't imagine that look in Oregon at all.
Wow.
And that shows how little I know. But it is so much fun. But anyway, if you could play it for free, GeoGuessr, GeoGuessr. You can play it one person by yourself. You can play it with two people. You can play it competitive. That's what we used to do.
Yes.
And sometimes it goes on a long time, so it gets frustrating. But
now, can you play it where they drop two people in the same place?
I don't think so.
That would be fun.
It would be fun. I would like to do some of the other maps, and if you register, I think there's a pro version where you can actually make your own maps, I guess. I don't know. But I do at some point want to play the New York version.
Yes.
I have played just the American version, the United States version. That's kind of fun.
Okay.
But it's more challenging when you're just, I don't know, when you think you're somewhere close by and you're really in Korea. That's fun. Everything, there are no ground rules. It can literally be everywhere. And to me, it's just frustrating when they drop you somewhere where there are zero landmarks.
Well, I can tell you're a little bit jazzed about this game.
It's fun. I spend way too much time on it. I would spend a lot of time on it, so I have to be careful. That's why I don't play a lot of games.
Well, I think I've mentioned on this podcast before that I play some games on my iPad, and those games tend to take up a lot of my at-home time. Yeah. I have to leave my iPad at home, or else I will find myself at work trying to get on my iPad and play a game, which is not cool. They take up a lot of time.
Well, the best thing about GeoGuessr is you don't have to download anything. You play it straight from the web. So that's fun.
Okay.
It doesn't take up space. So, and I think you can probably, I don't know, look me up. You might be able to play against me. I don't know. I think they let people do that, I guess.
I'll try it.
I don't know. But it's fun. Just do it. Just play with yourself. It's fun.
It is fun. It's very fun to play with yourself.
All right. Are we done?
I don't know.
Are we closing?
I wanted to ask you a question, though.
Oh, okay. We got time. What?
You asked me a question earlier, and I haven't asked you.
Oh, like a trivia type of question? What would you do?
Yeah.
Can I give you a money question? Sure. Go ahead.
So let's see. Let's say somebody's going to give you tickets.
Okay.
Because you didn't answer.
Well, I asked the question.
Okay, so I want you to answer it too, though. Somebody's going to give you free tickets to either a movie theater, which I know you'd say no to, the theater,
Right.
A musical,
Yes.
or stand-up or sketch comedy.
Right.
What would you do?
It depends on who's doing the performing. Just straight out.
Which of those do you prefer?
It would either be sketch comedy or theater. I would, depending on the play, would like to see some live theater.
Okay.
I would like to see some off-Broadway live theater, good stuff. And then the same with sketch comedy. Not bad sketch comedy.
No one wants to see bad sketch comedy.
I guess some people just want to go have fun. They don't care what it is. But
that's true.
So that's probably what I would do. One of those two.
Okay.
Good theater. I don't know what shows are playing, but something that's just really interesting. And I don't know. I think too much money thrown at a show. Disney musicals on Broadway. That's I don't have the attention span for that. It's
there's too much going on.
I would much rather 5 people doing a good drama.
So like black box theater.
Yes, definitely.
Oh,
or just a small. Off Broadway. Where they don't do gigantic musicals.
Spectacles.
Yeah, okay. There's a place for those, but I just, I would like the more intimate kind of drama.
Agreed.
Or possibly comedy.
Agreed. Good to know. All right, now we can wrap it up.
Wrapping it up.
So let me ask you what you think of this cider.
It's a cider. There's nothing special about it. I totally agree with you about the carbonation. I wished it had more carbonation. It's just a very sweet Kool-Aid beverage.
Well, I wouldn't say it's as sweet as, say, a Kool-Aid beverage, but I do like the fact that it doesn't have as much carbonation as some.
Right.
I can only have like one cider at a time because it does affect my stomach. Thank you so much, Rick.
Okay. I didn't do it on purpose.
I know you didn't. But they're not lying when they say that there's notes of cherry and honey in there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like almost every cider I've ever had. So,
yeah,
I'm giving it a 1.5.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
If you like ciders, totally fine with it. I wouldn't buy it just because I have some of my favorite ciders. It's not a shitty cider.
Thank goodness it's not a shitty cider.
But I would say, it's also not a spectacular one.
Tell us again what it's called.
Zombie
Killer
Zombie.
By B Nektar.
Like Psycho Killer from the Talking Heads. This is Zombie Killer by the Chopping Heads.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for joining us on This Epic Disaster. We're here every Monday, just like today.
Yep.
And we love it when you pop in and say hi to us. And you could say hi to us by sending us email at thisepicdisaster@gmail.com. Go to our Facebook, drop us some notes, lines. People have been doing that this week. I like it.
Me
it's kind
too.
of fun commenting on our stuff.
Please email us. Email us interesting things that we can talk about on the podcast.
Yeah.
Email us about what you do for a living. Email us about fun things that you do outside of work, which I hope you do more fun things outside of work than at work. Email us if what you do for fun is work. We want to know these kinds of stories. We want to talk about them. And maybe, if it's interesting enough, we'll actually call you up and interview you.
Yeah, we definitely want to get some interviews in. We got some stuff happening for October.
Yes.
But Halloween season, we got a couple of, maybe more than a couple, interviews that we're working on securing. And I'm really anxious to tell people what they are, but I can't yet.
Because they're not scheduled yet.
They're not finalized for sure, but it's stuff we're working on. We're also working on a really, really fun Halloween thing that we will be doing that we can include everybody in. It'll be fun.
It will be fun.
It'll be a fun thing that we're going to do. And we always have stickers that we give people. If you just write to us and say, I want stickers, we will send them to you. And you can buy T-shirts if you want. Just go to our store. Most of that stuff is at thisepicdisaster.com. You can find out where all of that stuff is. I think I've mentioned everything.
I think you have. We're on Instagram and Twitter and all those places. So check us out. Be our friend. Like us. Send us comments. All the above.
Please do.
Oh, please. Yes. I'm not telling you to. I'm asking you
That
to.
is correct. And I believe we've said everything that we
Okay.
need to say for this week. We need to go check and make sure your dog hasn't eaten my door.
Yes, let's do that.
And so we will close down and say next time.
Until next time.
We'll be there.
Bye.
Bye.
This is a Violet Jester Media podcast.